What are some girl secrets guys don't know about? Dogs love to smell our crotches when we're menstruating. It's extremely uncomfortable. The panic when we believe we've either issued ourselves or have just come on our period, run to the toilet only to realize it was discharged skull. Apparently panty liners. I asked my BF to grab Messam if he was heading to the supermarket anyways. He assured me he knew what they were. I am now the proud owner of a pack of incontinence pads for leaky ladies. They are very thick. Edit. Here's a brief overview. Menstrual pads. Most common, used for bleeding during periods. Incontinence pads. Often a bit thicker, used for if you sneeze or laugh a bit too hard and you leak. Most used for slightly older women or moms. Panty liners. Used to deal with discharge or very light bleeding, not for whole periods. Menstrual cramps feel like the onset of horrible diarrhea. I'm a man, but I've been with my wife for 10 years and I am so close to deciphering the meaning of olive, the squiggly hair symbols on my shower wall. That's between me and Victoria. We have a favorite bra. We also wash it less than the others. We sometimes get a random pain in the oob and wonder if we're going to get a heart attack. Some of us shave our toe hairs. Pulling up our underwear after using the restroom is the worst because discharge on your underwear will cool down, and it's really cold, uncomfortable feeling putting it back on. Premenstrual intestinal activity. Sometimes greater than 20% of shower time might be spent entangling hair from our fingers so we can move on to the next step. Factors can include length of hair and time since last wash. Edit. Lol y'all. I've been washing my own hair for 40 years. I know the tricks. I stand by my statement that this takes up a significant amount of shower time. Longer the shower, the more shaving was done. If I'm doing an awkward shuffle, I'm probably trying to get an air bubble out of my vag. A disturbing amount of self-care days that women will announce they're taking consist almost entirely of laying in bed the entire day masturbating and eating. Edit. To the men PMing me asking me to masturbate for them, I am also a man but was able to sneak behind enemy lines for a few minutes. Yesterday I overheard two women at the thrift store conversing about one's husband asking whether or not she could oop while wearing a tampon. I fled the scene before the secret was revealed. All those times the dog supposedly farted, it was me. We play with our oobs sometimes too. Showering during your period is the perfect opportunity to get out any leftovers and clean that thing out. No clue when our periods end, we often just kindago, uck it I'm done with this, and decide ites done when it's about to end. Also period panties. Shaving the hair off our bodies is like an Olympic sport. Pooping and being on your period is a different level of pain. That sometimes you get that awful sudden cramp during period when you can't sit nor bend or stand straight because any movement feel like your ovaries are about to burst. So you just stay there in an awkward position, not really standing, not sitting until it goes away just as sudden. My ex is to call that vag attack. Period blood isn't just blood, it's all sorts OFC laggy rap from your uterus clearing itself out. Is this the kind of thing you wanted? You know when you see a woman in a ponytail walking and that ponytail is just swinging aggressively back and forth? Yeah, she's doing that on purpose. We can walk normally so that the ponytail doesn't swing as much. But we don't. Because it's fun when ponytail go whoosh whoosh. If you have long hair, you will def be pulling hair out of your butt crack after you shower. Girls go to the restroom in pairs for a reason. And eyes, we will discuss each other's dates. That fresh blood washes off easily with cold water. Fart bubbles. We all meet up twice a month on Wednesdays in the deep forest to do rituals. There is an insatiable type of horniness that some women get pre-menstrual cycle that is almost always impossible to satisfy. And then like the wind it vanishes and in its place is a hungry, cute, sometimes cuddly, sometimes grumpy couch potato. It's a pain in the SS to go downstairs and upstairs. Sports bras are my best friend. Edit. Okay, some clarification, it's the it's not des that's in pain. I seriously can't tell which of these replies are genuine or satire. We also do the awkward shuffle of stretching our legs out to unstick our alls, except when we do itis so when can adjust our pants or unstick or lady alls. Nipple hairs. We don't pee out the hole you stick your little fella in, and we can't hold our periods in. It might not seem like secret, but it's scary how many men don't seem to know this. We are very good at getting blood out of fabric. Smiley face. We all know where that one guy is. The one that makes us uncomfortable in the room even from 10 feet away. We watch out of the corners of our eyes to make sure other women are okay when that guy is near them. Our oobs can get somewhat painful before our monthly starts. It is not pleasant. Edit. As you can see in the replies, this varies from person to person. Some feel next to nothing and others have it so bad they can barely move when it's at its worst. We're not making it up or being dramatic when we get mood swings during or right before our periods. Trust me, we hate it too. It sucks not feeling like you can control your emotions. Selecting the right tampon is a gamble every time. Too small for the flow and you can feel it trying to fall out as you walk because it's heavy. Too big for the flow and you'll be faced with pulling out a partially dry wad. Oh, so painful. I've never known a woman that likes ick pics, especially unsolicited. Oddly, I've had this conversation many times and the answer is always a variation that is the same. Why do guys think we want to see that? I am far from prude and I have no desire. Maybe there's some out there, but along with my chats, 0/10. I saw a girl stuck in traffic touching then sniffing her armpits. I'm pretty sure she thought she had achieved the maneuver in secret, but I had a giggle, then I checked mine just to make sure. Sometimes we get a bit of pee on our leg after peeing, especially if freshly shaven, lissard, waxed. What is something that old people love that you don't understand? There is this weird type of traditional Vietnamese music my parents said that only old people like and they could not stand it either. A decade later and apparently they enjoy it. I await my turn in fear. Edit. For those asking, it is Kai Luong. In my country, Brazil, old people sit in front of their houses and do absolutely nothing for hours, just watching people and cars go by. This is more common for lower social class. For instance, my grandma and her friends gather every day at someone's door and just sit there until the night comes. They are retired. Oldie here. I worked for a Canadian clothing store called Marks. I used to point our new arrivals to my daughter to see if she liked them, and she would say, those are old people clothes. One day she came in, looked around and said, "You guys are starting to get some pretty good stuff." I laughed because nothing had really changed, and watched the expression on her face change as it slowly dawned on her. I'm a window cleaner and have a lot of elderly customers. Over the years I've found they love Toby, the first one to tell me one of the neighbors died. To the point where if I say, "Yeah, film already, let me know," they look genuinely disappointed and annoyed that they weren't the Aneto break the news to me. Watching the news constantly. Telling anyone who will listen about their various ailments. Look, I'm 57, so I'm ancient by Reddit standards. But I vowed early on that I will not become one of these oversharing old people. Fine china and silverware. It's pretty in the way anything made in bulk can be. It's expensive, has very little resale value, fragile as UCK, and virtually useless unless you're trying to impress another old person. Personal opinion, no hate. I've reached the tipping point. I love my hedge and some drunk kid fell in it. Big hole. Will take 4 years to grow back. This, get off my lawn, moment awakened the old in me. Itching about everything on the Nextdoor app. Sitting hours behind those slot machines. Working way over your scheduled hours for no pay, to show that you are a good hard-working person. Asking people when they're getting married on dating kids. I'm 27 and it's incessant from my grandparents and mother. They love to refuse to learn new things, insisting that they just can't. Obsessed with the weather. My partner's grandmother house sat while we were away for a trip in Madeira to record the weather details for us of every day we were gone. What's something attractive people can do, that ugly people can't? Go out broke and come home drunk. A girl just drove 3 hours to UCK, my roommate. They never really spoke or met before this. Blew my mind. I've had one of my friends get rejected because the girl found the best friend of that guy, me, to be too ugly. My friend got rejected because I am ugly. I wouldn't know. I am handsome. Source, my mom. Anyone can ask, but attractive people are so much more likely to get help from strangers. Just a sad little twisted fact of life. I have a good-looking business partner. We are constantly delegating tasks based on whether we need Sasquatch or Captain America. People will go completely out of their way to do things for them. Moving? Something broke? Car declined? Someone will help them. Always having dating options. Not actively seeking out potential partners. Potential partners seek them out. Yeah, it's called the halo effect. We tend to assume attractive people are nicer and smarter. Deleted. Singer, artist. Even though looks have nothing to with talent. Makes me wonder how many amazing voices are not being heard because the record company old fat dudes don't think the artist is hot. Flirt without cringe backlash. Get good tips as a waiter without really trying. Get out of prison for a felony, immediately get a modeling contract and start dating an heiress. Dressing bad. Attractive people can wear literal rags and look go. Ugly people have to dress to the nine just to have a chance. I dated an extremely attractive, charismatic man once. It was genuinely scary what he could pull off. He could definitely be a cult leader. Now when I go on dates, if I see their charisma manipulating situations, it's an instant no. Hits scary.